Hi everybody, continuing on from my preparation videos, my river prep videos. In this video I'm going to do some tying of my hook links. I tie hook links at home before I go, and they work as part of my my system, whether it be on the float or usually more on the ledger, on the link ledger, when I'm perhaps going chub fishing and small river fishing. I tie up all my own hook links, and as I say, they work as part of the system that I use, easily interchangeable. We'll run through the actual link ledger gear or the running ledger gear that I use in a separate video. But this video I'm just going to quickly run you through the gear I use to tie up my hook links. That being sort of, I always tie them with fluorocarbon, but I'll run you through the gear now I use and why I use it. So we'll have a look down on the table now, and we'll get tying some rigs. So this is what I use to tie up my home tied hook links. I either favour the Gape Specialist by Drennan in the smaller sizes, or the Korda Kurv Shank in the bigger sizes. They actually did work down to a size 12 in the Korda Kurv Shanks, but they are a very big 12 and probably about the same size as the Drennan microbarb size 8 wide Gape. So the two work well reasonably together. And the material I use is fluorocarbon, and I use this fluorocarbon Drennan fly leader because of its stiffness. I do like a stiff fluorocarbon hook link, and this stuff is lovely and stiff. To tie my hook links, it's a case of taking off perhaps 14-15 inches. I like my hook links to be about a foot long. Now, you might say that's a bit narrow-minded to just have one length of hook link, but this will work in conjunction with the setup on the rod, which I will go into in another video, and it makes it very adjustable. I'll leave the explanation to the next video, but that's why I just tie up one length of hook link. Now what I do, I've picked a size 8 wide Gape Specialist here because it's a reasonably big hook for you to be able to see better what's going on. What I'm going to do is tie on with a knotless knot. So always go in point side, from the point of the hook side through, wrap around maybe 6 times, 5, 6 or 7. And we come back through with the fluorocarbon, like so. Feed that through gently. Now what that fluorocarbon does, especially as it's stiff, it gives that nice aggressive angle there. You can see that. Gives a nice aggressive angle as it exits the hook. Makes it fantastic way of hooking fish. And on the other end, it's just a case of tying a reasonably long figure of 8 loop. This will act as a slightly stiffer section. It really helps to reduce the tangles. So we're going to double that over, give it another twist to make it figure of 8. Put the front through, the big loop through, tease that down. Always wet your knots, and that gives us a nice figure of 8 loop. Just trim that tag off. And there we go. Now that is my standard hook link, and I use for storage one of these Guru hook link boxes. Comes with these foam winders in here. I'll label them up, as you can see. A £5 on one side. Ignore this, £3 on the other. There's a couple of thicker ones at the back there. That's the reason for that. I have my smaller hooks, £3 hook links on this side, £5 hook links on this side. And as you can see, what I've done is chopped out some bigger slots out of these to make them easier to use with bigger hooks. For example, there makes a bigger hook sit down nice and tight. Got one there with a little screw on for using luncheon meat. they're for more for when I go barbel fishing. Those hook links are just not really part of my general hook link box. Now, as you can see, I've got multiple on here. These are size 12 to 5 pound fluorocarbon hook link, and the smaller sizes are up this side. It's just a case of storing these on here, ready to go. Now, I do generally use 3 and 5 pound hook links. 3 pound for the lighter hooks, obviously fishing for smaller fish generally. 5 pound for the larger hooks when I'm chub fishing. Main line is 6 pound. The idea being, if I snag up, then I have to pull for a break. The hook link will go and I won't lose all my gear. That's the reason for that. As I said at the beginning, guys, those hook links will fit into the system I use, which I'll go into in another video. But I hope that explains how I tie my hook links. You've seen me do it, and it explains why I do various things, why I do what I do. So all is left to do, so thank you very much for watching. Hope that was informative. Tight lines if you get out on the bank. Many thanks to the channel patrons, and I'll see you all again very soon.